Hi, my name is Siddarth.
I'm Shukanth.
And I'm Sharva, and this is our app SpeakLink. We were tasked with finding a tech-driven solution to an educational problem, and the educational problem we decided to focus on was English as a second language, or ESL students, and their parents primarily. The reason we chose to focus on this is because of the uprise in ESL students, where we can see in the past few years, there's an increase of 5,000 ESL students, and now 11% of the student population are ESL students. Unfortunately, these students do not perform too well, with over 75% of those ESL students scoring below proficient on the end of the year exams. And we believe a key factor to this is because of the parents' lack of activeness in their schooling. We believe this is the reason for this is because the parents struggle with language barriers, with one parent even quoting, "I struggle to sometimes understand my child's school announcements and homework." We believe that many parents feel this way, and that's why we came up with SpeakLink.
So this is a high-level flowchart describing our application. So it's a front-end React app, and then the back-end is made in Flask. And the key component, key concept that sort of describes this app and makes it what it is RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. So we have both capabilities to upload your files as well as upload meeting summaries. And the way that both of these work is that they vectorize both of this content. And then based on user queries, we do a similarity search and retrieve the most relevant information, provide that to an LLM context for personalized guidance and responses in native languages. Hi, I'll be conducting the demo today. So our application has two main facets, uploading academic documents and also recording parent-teacher conferences, and I'll be going through the academic documents. So with these academic documents, you can upload anything related to your student, from transcripts, report cards, anything that pertains to your particular student. So I'll be uploading my own unofficial transcript. And this system parses this entire transcript and feeds it to our LLM context. So now I can ask the AI assistant in my native language. So starting off, we select this document that we want to query. And let's say I want to ask, what did my student get in CSE 2221? And as you can see, the AI says that we received an A. And another functionality is that we can also switch languages, the main focus of this application. And so let's ask, what is his GPA? And we can see that we have a 3.874 GPA. And another key functionality is that we can actually query the AI in our native language as well, as opposed to just English. So let's get a query here. Has he taken CSE 2321? And we'll get this in German and hope to receive a response in German as well. So we get a response back in German, and let's just make sure that this is correct. So let's go back, translate this back into English. And yes, this is correct. I have not taken 2321 at this point in time. And a final question is, how many credit hours has he taken? And let's do this one in Chinese. And as you can see, we've taken 39 credits here. And so this is a brief overview of the chat system pertaining to academic documents. And this is not just limited to the scope of transcripts. You can ask anything about any document pertaining to your particular student.
Okay, now that we've gotten an overview of the academic documents, let's look at the parent-teacher conference tab. This is used in parent-teacher conferences when the parent has a language barrier with the teacher and can't really understand what the teacher is saying. So they can record and then record the meeting and then have it be translated into their native language, and then also ask the AI assistant questions. All right, I've prepared a script that will act out as a teacher. Hi there, thanks so much for coming in today to talk about John. I'm happy to share how he's doing this semester. Let's start with math. John currently has a B+, and he shows a solid understanding of core concepts, especially algebra, but sometimes rushes through word problems. He could boost his grade to an A by double-checking his work and showing all his steps more clearly. In English, John has a B. He's a creative writer and contributes to class discussions, but his essays could use more structure and a clearer thesis statement. We're working on outlining before writing, and I think that will help a lot. For science, John has an A-. He's naturally curious and asks great questions during our Earth Science unit, and he also does very well on the labs and enjoys hands-on work. One thing he could improve is reading instructions more carefully before jumping into an activity. And then we'll stop right here. Okay, now that we've gotten the transcript, we can also translate the transcript into a different language. So let's say Spanish. And then here's a translated version. Okay, and now we can go ask the AI assistant some questions. We'll switch over to the parent-teacher conference tab, and then we'll select the conference that we just had. I've prepared some questions that we'll ask the chat. So what can John do to improve his grade? We'll ask this question in English, and we'll ask for the response in Hindi. And then, just to make sure this response is correct, we'll go check with Google Translate. And yeah, stuff that I mentioned that John can improve on is also mentioned here. All right, next question. We'll go on to what are some of his strengths. And then right here, we're asking in Spanish, so let's switch our language to Spanish. And we got our Spanish response. And then let's check. And yeah, this is correct. And then lastly, we have a question in French. Can you give me a brief meeting summary? And then we'll ask in French and get a response in French. Yeah, got a French response. And then here. Yeah, we got a brief meeting summary with a summary of all his grades in each class.
Some next steps that we want to do with the app is one, to increase the number of language options because we know there are many other languages out there. And the second one is to integrate with school databases to auto-add transcripts, so that's easier on the parents and the schools, so that the parents get the transcripts right away and can get it into their language.
Thank you for listening.